I believe that we are about to have the best year of Call of Duty since Black Ops 2. The game feels great, looks great. I know personally I haven't felt this hype for Call of Duty since the BO2 days. Even though I hate microtransactions, we have seen a shift in the system since Treyarch's last game, where I guarantee DLC weapons, etc. will be as obtainable as they are in IW, MWR, and World War II. All in all, I think we will have a great year ahead of us, and I believe Black Ops 4 will stay relevant until Treyarch has their next release. The hype is real, guys. This was posted 7 months ago, 1 month before Black Ops 4 actually came out. And now, Black Ops 4 has been out for 6 months, essentially half of its life cycle. In other words, half of a year until the next Call of Duty comes out. The question I have for you before I dive into this video, do these statements remain true for you? Do you believe that what this person said before the game came out remains true? Especially this being the best Call of Duty since Black Ops 2. Let me know what you think down in the comments. In this video, we are going to be exploring what Black Ops 4 looks like 6 months after the release of the game, specifically looking up some things that were mentioned in that Reddit post. And for the sake of the video, I'm not a big zombies player, so we're only going to be talking about Blackout and multiplayer, as well as microtransactions and the black market. And of course, as you guys know, since it is a Monday, I will be live streaming over on Twitch later tonight, doing an open lobby, playing some multiplayer games with you guys. So if you've ever wanted to play some Black Ops 4 with me, or you just want to check out the live stream, it'll be the first link down in the description, and that should start around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully I see you there later tonight. Like I said, it'll be the first link down in the description, but I'm guessing a lot of people are coming here for negativity. So I'm actually going to start out on a positive note with Blackout. So to start off, when Blackout was first announced, everyone thought it was 100% too good to be true. Call of Duty was taking a bunch of their old maps, putting them into one giant map where potentially 100 players could play. On top of that, there was going to be vehicles, including helicopters, ATVs, cargo trucks. No one believed that this was actually possible. On top of that, the first trailer that they showed was in a giant building under construction, and people believed that, yeah, maybe there's a giant building, but you won't be able to go to all of the levels. Well, Call of Duty did it. Specifically, Treyarch did it. They built a battle royale game with multiple Call of Duty maps where 100 people could play, and they did it pretty damn well. You have to admit, Blackout may not be your favorite battle royale, but they did exactly what they said they were going to do, and I don't think anyone thought that they could pull it off in the way that they did. So literally, as sincerely as I can make this, well done on that, Treyarch. You did an incredible, incredible job. But not everything's good here. There are some mistakes I think they made with Blackout, but I do think for the most part they made up with them. To start things out, when Blackout was first released, for the first 2 months of the game, there was no LTMs. There was no limited time events, limited time game modes. It was just Blackout, and really all in all, they didn't make too many changes. However, they have made up for that with game modes like Ambush, Hot Pursuit, and then recently adding a totally new map being Alcatraz. The cool thing with this is nobody expected them to make another Blackout map, and they just went ahead and did it anyway. Which, when you think about it, is pretty incredible. This is a free map that has been added into the game that adds a ton more playability, and in my opinion, this version of Blackout is even better than the original that they made with 100 players, but hey, that's just my opinion. Now, on top of this, there may be other mistakes that a lot of people look at, like the looting system on console or the way weapons are balanced, but all in all, I think they have made a pretty damn good battle royale game, and I have to commend them for that. At the same time, I do think that this great battle royale that they have made has really screwed over the rest of their game. Once again, going back to that same Reddit post we started the video with, someone commented this. Keep in mind, this isn't me writing this, but just have a listen. If it wasn't for Blackout, this would probably be the worst COD to date. Everything else feels half-assed, probably because they put all their time and money into Blackout after scrapping the campaign. Now, nobody knows this for sure. Nobody knows that all of their efforts are going into this, but they're certainly making it seem like that. With the most recent updates and patches, zombies and multiplayer have kind of got left in the dust. And let's move over to multiplayer now. Now, one thing that a lot of people, I think, forget is that when Black Ops 4 was in its beta, when Black Ops 4 first came out, the multiplayer was booming. It was by far the most played mode. If you went on Twitch, people who were streaming multiplayer had thousands and thousands of views, Scump even setting record numbers for multiplayer streams on Twitch. So clearly there was a market there for multiplayer. But as time went on, people have seemed to lost interest with multiplayer. And the question is why? So I think the first part of it, why it did so well at launch, is because this was a different Call of Duty game. With the addition of manual healing and 150 health, it added a higher skill gap even though there wasn't 3D movement. Something that I think is very welcome to Call of Duty, and even though a lot of people didn't love that, I think they could respect what it added to the game. And after the release of the game, I really didn't see anyone complaining about that, and I would have to go as far as to say manual healing and the extra health may be two of the biggest changes that people like and possibly want to see going forward. So as far as that lack of interest, I think it comes down to three things. First of all, lack of content. Lack of additions that people want to play. Now, one thing that I think they've done a good job is adding in extra game modes. Something we saw recently was Infected. We've seen Gun Game. We've seen One in the Chamber. Lots of game modes, even going as far as Bare Bones. But there has also been a lack of content when it comes to things like weapons and adding in gameplay and replayability via challenges and basically things to do within multiplayer. If we look at it as a comparison, World War II, this game currently has 5 less weapons in multiplayer DLC wise than World War II did, and Black Ops 4 has been out for a month longer. Black Ops 4 has been out for 6 months. World War II had been out for 5 months at this point. So clearly a lack of weapons. So that's the first reason why I think people are losing interest, is simply lack of content. So up next, the second reason I have is simply frustration. Frustration with overpowered weapons and specifically specialists. Once again, going back to the Reddit post, another comment that someone put is, aside from all the specialist BS, not a bad game. And quite honestly, I tend to agree. As far as the gameplay goes, I talked about it. I already really liked the gameplay, but as people got better and better at the game, learned how to use the specialists properly, specialists just became extremely annoying. Constantly getting hit by seeker drones, dogs, killed by specialist weapons. It hits a point where it's just too much and it's annoying to die, especially if you're on like a 22 kill streak, you're trying to get that nuclear, and boom, you die because you get hit by a seeker drone, or you die from a Tempest. And there really hasn't been the balance that I think there should be for those specialist characters. Also, I think that having both an ability and a weapon at the same time is just a little bit too much. And I think a lot of people are very frustrated with that. So with the addition of Bare Bones recently, I've heard a lot of people really like it. The problem is all the really good players are going to that game mode, and it makes it an extremely sweaty game mode. So if this was the normal game, people would really like it, but because it's in its own playlist, it gets really sweaty. So simply frustration from lack of balance and lack of fine-tuning, really, I guess is the way to say it, with the specialist characters and even some of the weapons. Like, I've been complaining about the Titan for months, and we really haven't seen much of a change. But once again, that comes down to my personal opinion. And then finally, the third reason, probably the biggest reason, is monetization. And as far as monetization go, there's two sides to it. One side is they're making us pay for everything. The second side is they're a development studio, they need to make money. And there is good reasoning for both sides of these, but I don't think they have to jam a pry bar into every single customer playing their game and try to pry money out of their pockets like they are. For example, the Black Ops Pass is a thing of the past. Having paid DLC, specifically paid maps, is awful for Call of Duty. It divides the player base, makes it so that not only am I playing against better players every single time I played, but the players I can play against are limited because the game only matches me with players with the maps. It's incredibly frustrating, and the Black Ops Pass needs to go. DLC should be free in that case. That being said, if they do that, then they do have to have monetization, and the way they do that is with microtransactions. And as we've seen in Black Ops 4, there are a lot of microtransactions and a lot of ways of selling microtransactions. There's a tier system similar to Fortnite or Apex Legends. On top of that, there are supply drops. On top of that, there is a direct buy marketplace known as Blackjack Shop. There is every way of selling microtransactions within Black Ops 4, and keep in mind, Black Ops 4 is not free to play. This is a thing we've talked about many times before, and quite honestly, there is no point in diving into that any deeper. However, there is one other point I want to make. I want to explain to you how it has been getting worse and worse throughout the life cycle of Black Ops 4. So a fan actually sent me this on Twitter. I couldn't find the tweet, but whoever it was, thank you very much. So looking at the promotional material for Operation Absolute Zero, it is very clear what we are getting for free through the operation. You are getting Zero as a specialist character, the Daemon as a DLC weapon, and I'm not sure whether or not that's a SWAT in the background, but that is also the other DLC weapon. It is very clear what you are getting for free, and specifically the reasons why you should go ahead, pick up the game, and play again, because there is new free content coming to the game. Moving forward to Operation Grand Heist, you can see, once again, it does show off what you get for free. It shows off the Rampage, which is one of the free weapons, and it shows off the new vehicles in Blackout. But if you look at every other thing in this promotional material, these are all things that you have to buy. They are skins for different characters. They are not free items whatsoever. They are all not reasons for you to pick up and play the game and get free content. They are reasons for you to pick up the game and pay for something. So once again, going back to that Reddit post, the idea of this is the best Call of Duty since Black Ops 2. First of all, going to the microtransactions that we were talking about before, exactly what he said in the post is, even though I hate microtransactions, we have seen a shift in the system since Treyarch's last game, where I guarantee DLC weapons will be as attainable as they were in IW, MWR, and World War II. First of all, that statement is not true. Weapons are not as attainable as they were in those games. On top of that, there are less weapons than there were in those games. On top of that, was there a reason to be hyped about this game? I truly believe that there was. I truly believe that Black Ops 4, with its gameplay style and mechanics that it had the ability to be just as good, if not better, than Black Ops 2. But because of all of the effort going into microtransactions and Blackout, multiplayer got left behind and couldn't reach that potential. That is my opinion, and if you disagree with me, feel free to let me know what your opinion is down in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to think about this. But in my opinion, that is Black Ops 4 6 months later. I truly believe that they could really turn things around by adding things like weekly and daily challenges, paying a little bit more attention to the balance of the specialists and weapons in multiplayer. But only time will tell. And of course, as you guys know, once the life cycle's over, once the next Call of Duty game comes out, I will give you my full review of Black Ops 4. But until then, that is Call of Duty 6 months later. If you enjoyed, I would really appreciate it if you could hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and like what you see, the best way to stay up to date on all my videos is make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you have notifications turned on. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.
Listen.